So the IELTS speaking exam is broken down into 3 parts. We have part 1, part 2 and part 3. And in this video, we will look at how you can perform at your best in part 3 of the IELTS exam. So let's get started. Now part 3 of the speaking test is directly related to part 2 of the speaking exam. So in part 2, you will be expected to speak for up to 2 minutes about a specific topic. And when you speak in part 2, it will be just you speaking. So the examiner won't be asking you lots of questions and then you won't give a reply. It will just be a monologue, which is just you talking for 2 minutes. And then after that, part 3, this is where the examiner will ask you more questions about the topic that you spoke about in part 2. So for example, if your topic was about movies, then in part 3 of this speaking exam, the examiner will ask you more questions about movies. And in part 3, the examiner will ask you a question, you will answer, then he will ask you another question, again you will answer, and this will go on for around 4 to 5 minutes. And our aim for part 3 is to give detailed answers. And that brings us to the first strategy, which is to give extended answers. And here's how we can do that. So let's look at this question as an example. Why do some people prefer watching a film in the cinema rather than at home? Now, we can just answer this question in one sentence. So we might give an answer like this. Watching a film in the cinema is more enjoyable. That's it. I've answered the question, but this is not a great answer. What we want to do is extend this answer. So let's look at another example, and this example is of a good answer. So this is an example of an answer that we want to aim for. Well, in my opinion, watching a film in the cinema is a lot more enjoyable than watching a film at home for many reasons. Firstly, and then secondly, and then you would just give a few answers, and that would be a very detailed answer. So to help you understand, what I did there was I explained that watching movies in the cinema is a lot better than watching movies at home, and then I said is because of a few reasons. Now once you've said this, it gives you the opportunity to talk about these reasons. We didn't just give a one sentence answer. We gave a few sentences, okay? So remember to extend your answers in part 3. And according to the IDP website, they say that when you are preparing for part 3 of the IELTS speaking exam, you should be willing to discuss topics in detail, which we've discussed, and they say that you can do this by focusing on the following things. So as you can see on your screen, expressing your opinion, agreeing or disagreeing with something. You can talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of something. For example, the advantages of watching a movie in the cinema, and then the disadvantage of watching a movie in the cinema. And here are a couple of more things that you can focus on that will help you extend your answers. So you can give examples and you can focus on comparing and contrasting. Now, I will leave the link in the description below for this website, and they do include a lot more things that you can focus on. So again, focus on extending your answers. And that brings us on to the next strategy, which is to use sequence words or linking words. So I mentioned these things in the past so many times, and that's because they are really helpful to help you getting a higher mark. But if this is your first time watching this, or if you've forgotten, what is a sequence word or a linking word? Well, a sequence word is just a word that puts things in order. So for example, firstly, secondly, thirdly, in addition, furthermore, also, finally. These are words that will help you put things in an order, and they are very helpful for both the speaking exam and the writing exam. So try to learn these words. And linking words, these are just words that help us connect one point to another. So some words such as furthermore or in addition, they can be classed as both sequence words and linking words. So if you learn these words, you've kind of learned both. But try to learn a variety of these words, because you don't just want to use firstly, secondly, thirdly, and then use these words over and over again. Let's look at an example and let's see how this looks like if we keep repeating the same sequence words. I want you to focus on what's wrong with this answer. So, to start with, I really like studying English. Firstly, it is interesting. Secondly, it is challenging. Thirdly, I get to meet new people. However, I must say that I find it difficult because of four things. Firstly, the grammar. Secondly, the punctuation. Thirdly, da 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 da. Can you see this answer? So, this answer was not a good answer because it's quite boring, and that is because I've used the same words over and over again. The examiner will almost know what I'm about to say next. He or she might know that I'm going to use secondly, thirdly, fourthly, fifthly if I just carry on using these words. And the second thing is that it was very repetitive. That's what made it boring. So to help you avoid this mistake, try to learn a variety of sequence words and don't use them too much. Use them every now and then. And again, I will place these sequence words on the screen so you can take a screenshot to help you out and try to learn these words and try practicing using these words. Okay, now another strategy that can help you perform at your best in the speaking exam is use a wide range of vocabulary. So vocabulary, this just means words, and a wide range, that just means to use a lot of. So I want you to use a lot of different words in the speaking exam. The more words we learn, the larger our vocabulary will become. And you will be marked on your vocabulary. So it is very important to learn a wide range of vocabulary. So in part 2 of the speaking exam, as I mentioned earlier, you will be expected to speak for 2 minutes about a specific topic. Now, if you don't know many words about that topic, that means that your vocabulary might be limited. For example, if your topic is about movies, you want to learn words such as genre, comedy, rom-com, TV shows, thriller, or actors, theatre. These are just some words that are related to movies. So the more words we learn, the wider our vocabulary will become, and hopefully that will help us get a higher mark in the speaking exam. So how can we learn a variety of words? Well, there's different techniques that you can use. One of them is just practice speaking English on a daily basis. Try speaking with different people. Don't just speak to the same person over and over again. If you just speak with one person, that is good, but it's not the best. The best idea would be to speak English with as many people as possible. Another thing that you can do is watch TV shows. You can also put the subtitles on to help you further. Listen to the radio, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos. Do all these things, and these things will help you improve your vocabulary. You can also read journal articles. This is another great way to help you improve your vocabulary. And another strategy that can help us improve our speaking score is practice. Now, you're probably going to get tired of me saying this, but the only reason why I'm saying this is because of how important this is. Watching videos about different tips will not help you at all if you do not practice. So make sure you practice as much as possible, and the earlier you start to practice, the more time it will give you to prepare for your IELTS speaking exam. And hopefully with enough practice you will get the mark that you want. And if you are new here, my name is Brick. I am a qualified English teacher and an IELTS coach from the UK, and on this channel we cover everything IELTS related. So if this is something that you're interested in, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.